All right, let's get into it. Joining me today, an artist I've been watching for a couple years, a year and a half now. His name is Wesley Black. He's dropped his debut EP. It's called Angel. Wesley, my bro, let's talk about this EP. How are you feeling? You've had about a month to kind of, I guess, chill with it at the moment.
I've been super excited about putting it out, and of course the follow up to it as well. So I was just super excited to get this story and this idea out and kind of create this project that I felt I hadn't really heard before, and kind of take a new direction with it. And then after it came out, I did have a few more plans that I haven't got the chance to implement yet, of course, because of unfortunate timing and COVID and that. But I've been super excited and still am for the upcoming event. Now the August 21st it is, but super excited for that because I got some cool plans for that and some visuals, of course. I'm all about visuals, so I'm super excited to roll out some of the videos we got.
Let's talk about that concept because, you listen to the album, you sit there, and I've listened to it, a few times now, and the sound is so congruent throughout the whole album. And I feel like you're really telling a story. But this story has been told over quite a few years for you because, you go back to Red in 2019 when that first came out. How hard was it selecting these songs to talk together as one project for you?
I had to be in the right headspace to create the right songs. Like when I was working on this EP, I had this idea for a long time. Obviously, like Red was supposed to be the lead single, and I just couldn't quite match the ideas and the essence of Red with some of the tracks I was trying to create around it. And then with Outlaw, I felt like that was a really nice kind of complementing song to it. It's got a lot of differences, but like you said, it has that similar soundscape. And so from there, I was really had to be in that right headspace. Like I would have made, I don't know, dozens of songs that I kind of was like, they have to fit into this kind of sound. But in the end, these were the seven best songs that best represented the story and kind of the way I wanted to tell it, including Red as well. Like Red was that initial kind of idea I had. So I was debating because I was like, is it going to fit on the album? Is it a bit too old or something like that? But recently at shows especially, it's been a really fun one to perform. And I was like, well, it's a good chance to give it an extra boost. And it does tie into the story quite well. And so I think it's an important part of the EP.
Is it scary for you being so outside of the norm of what is going on in music? Like you listen to the track and the EP and your music, and it's so left field to what really is going on, but it works in a different way. For you, do you love being outside of that, or is it really a risk that you kind of have to take?
That's a good question. I would think it's probably a bit of both. I think I really had an idea that I wanted to create an EP that I hadn't heard before, just even a project that I hadn't quite heard that sound being tackled yet. And so it was a matter of like me working with a few different producers and stuff, the same mixer, but different producers who kind of were working more in that trap and electronic kind of field. And I was like, I can see that there's like a market for rap and a market for trap, and kind of closing that bridge with some kind of insightful lyrics and stuff like that could be a really cool idea. So definitely scary at first because I was not sure what the reception would be, but it gave me a lot more faith when I played some of these songs at shows and stuff like that. So like Red and Outlaw and stuff are by far the most fun to play live, just because the crowd is so into it and stuff. And it's also not like I'm making a song that's just going to be played for mosh pits and all that. I'm making a song that is saying exactly what I want it to say, but it also ties into that really fun, energetic kind of mosh pit element. So creating those two together was definitely a bit of a risk, but I was really happy with how Angel turned out. It took a while, but I was really happy with narrowing it down to the best selection I could.
I feel like, I've been back in Perth in Australia for about 2 years, just over 2 years now. And when I first came back, you were kind of on the outskirts. I was hearing people talking about who you were and referencing to you. And now I see you when you're performing, and I see you on stage, and you have this following within Perth. What's that feeling like for you now that you feel like you have an audience who do listen when you drop and who do come out when you go to perform?
It's really cool. It's honestly like amazing. And it's so weird. Like, I can think of one specific event as well where 6KMC through last year called Shake the Room. And that was probably the biggest crowd I've performed in front of. And I was actually pretty nervous heading up, just because it was like pretty busy and all that kind of stuff there. And I was definitely nervous until I saw my friends and some like supporters and stuff in the front row, and they were really getting into it. They were starting Wesley chants, and as I started doing the songs, they knew like all the lyrics, and that kind of stuff is just like, so it's amazing on one hand, but it's so inspiring on the other. Like, I feel like a lot of artists will leave sets and go like, wow, I feel like a whole creative high again, and I want to create again. So it's just performing and seeing like people really listening to my music, or like sharing release, or keen for the drop and all that kind of stuff. Seeing that support is like nothing short of like humbling and inspiring, and gets me already thinking about, okay, I got to follow this up with something new and something different and stuff. So it's really cool.
Was it important for you to do a project, to have a body of work? Because a lot of these days, artists just drop singles and they just keep moving through and they don't really think about it. But for you, was that something that you always had in your sight?
It's an interesting one, hey, because I was definitely tossing up for a while, and I was like, yeah, I feel because single has to be obviously like your strongest work and stuff. But I really thought that this EP had like a storyline to it, and I really felt like it could lead to a lot more things if I did this. So in the end, I think the EP was a right choice. And I think my next few releases obviously are going to be singles and stuff like that. But I was super excited to put out this EP just because of the amount of ideas I had that kind of transcended just like the audio side of things. So like, how am I going to create a show to launch this that launches it in the right way that this EP wants to be launched and stuff like that? And how can I tie in like appropriate merch and videos that kind of tell a story? So in the end, like before I even started making music, I was writing stories and comics and novels and stuff like that. So in the end, I'm still a storyteller at heart. So I think an EP was a very personal and a good idea for me, like something I've wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah, so we've got the music. We've got these 7 tracks on the EP, Angel. What is the story you're telling visually moving forward, and also, I guess, the performance? What's behind that?
The performance, that will be at the Rosemount. I don't want to say too much because I planned a few little surprises, but I just want to, I just want to see how I can make a show different. And I don't want to just throw a show, do my set, and then go home. I'm trying to think about what can I add to the stage, or what can I add to specific songs or something to make it different. So I'm not 100% sure if all these ideas are going to come through. So I've actually, that COVID pushback from July to August has given me a lot more time to kind of see how feasible these ideas are. But I've had good fun testing them out and stuff, and I'm really keen to do those. And as well, I like to kind of tie everything together in a way. So maybe some stuff on stage might be little indicators of other things to come, music or visual wise and stuff.
Go watch Kanye's his album release, and get some inspiration from that. You know, he has a complete football stadium in Miami, and he's just the only person on a white field. And it just seems to work. But I love the outside thinking, and I love that you're thinking in ways that are unconventional, you know, like you got to do that.
100%. I think it's a really cool way to separate yourself, and also like get people noticing like, oh, okay, so maybe there's a bit more to this guy, or a bit more to this EP. I'll go into it and look at it again, because he seems to be trying to push these certain ideas and stuff. So it all ties together in the end, I think.
Yeah, you dropped a track last year, back in 2020, called 11, which we played on the DSP, and I think is an amazing track that you
Oh,
have
thank you.
released. It didn't fit in this project, and it wouldn't have worked with the soundscape that what you did on Angel.
Yeah.
Is that the direction you're going? Is that kind of more of a line of where you're at today?
I think probably those two. I'm super proud of 11 and Angel. Both have kind of. I kind of wanted to make Angel to finish this sound that I was working on, to finish all this trap electronic storytelling kind of side of me. And same with 11. I think it had its place, but I think my next releases are going to be different. They won't sound like 11 or Angel. It's a bit of a 180, I guess. Just kind of, I wanted to, after releasing Angel, make something really different to that and open myself up, be a bit more vulnerable and stuff like that. So my next few releases, I think, will be a lot more vulnerable and a lot more I don't know. It'll be testing my vocal cords a bit more. We'll see if I can sing out a few belters as well.
Nice. There you go. I like that. You got to make sure you got a little bit for everyone. And on the track, you locked in with a couple of features. I think 3 or 4 features on the album.
Yeah.
Ivan Ooze is on that Ego Death track of yours.
Yes.
His verse is so hard, bro.
Oh, it's so sick.
How did you feel when you heard that verse, come back on your track?
Oh man, I was so excited because it was actually Rach from 6KMC who was talking to him and stuff, and she said like, "Oh, Ivan Ooze might be interested," and I was like, "Yeah." He's probably just saying that. But she sent back like the draft and stuff, and I was like, wow, it exceeded my expectations. And once we actually got the track through and we had Dawn reproduce the beat and stuff so we could get a bit more hands-on with it and alter it to make it a bit more perfect and stuff, that was really cool. And Ivan is just fit like right in that track. I was like, well, he's got to be the first verse, man. I really love his part. That I'd like to let him showcase his part right at the start.
Dope. Well, I'm glad you logged in with him because he's got some mad talent, and so do you. You sit with this EP, and for anyone that hasn't met you, hasn't ran into you or spoken to you, the aggression side of what is your music in this EP is so different to your persona in person.
100%.
Where does the aggression that is on these tracks come from?
It's quite interesting because I've been, to be fully honest, I've been looking into a lot of like kind of acting techniques and stuff like that. And in like I guess like down to the core, I'm really into movies, and that's why I like super keen about all these visuals and stuff like that. So so this whole Angel idea actually came from, it's like a story that I was writing like quite a few years ago. I started writing. It's like a sci-fi story, and Wesley Black is actually one of these characters in it, which is where I got my name from. I just took it from a story I wrote ages ago, and his character is this really aggressive, driven, emotional kind of character. And so within Angel, a lot of those lyrics and that kind of characterish side of me kind of comes out because I've been really trying to tap into that story. And that's why this Angel EP is quite conceptual, I guess. It's kind of like telling a lot of moments from my life, but through this story and through this character and stuff like that. So it allows me to tap into that really aggressive side and that really more quite I guess like well-spoken, like that really vivid kind of storytelling and stuff is all from that character and stuff. So I definitely think, it showcases quite different to my regular personality, but I really love tying into that. And it's a cool thing to switch on and off, when you go on stage, from turning into that real hard-hitting Wesley Black on stage. It's always good fun.
So what's, the next chapter of, this story that you've written? What's the next Wesley Black in comparison to this aggressive style of, storytelling that we hear on Angel?
Yep. I think from what I've been wanting to do for a while, because since I put out 11 specifically, a lot of people kind of gravitated towards like some of the lyrics in that and some of the softer stuff that I was playing at shows. And a lot of people were like, man, you got to put out a lot more of your vulnerable stuff and things like that. So I think I really want to take back and open up, rather than, I still love going through this kind of character and this aggressive side, but I think it will be an interesting story, especially because a lot of changes in my life has happened since around the time of Angel dropping, that I've been writing completely different music, and I'm really excited to show that. So I think I'm really excited to show a more raw and vulnerable and emotional side of myself to my listeners and to the world. So I think that will be an exciting new chapter where I can really speak just from my heart with these next few songs.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your debut EP. You know, we've had a month to sit on it now, bro. And I'm excited for you to finally get to do your EP launch party, you know, coming
Yes.
up very soon. And, you know, just keep being true to who you are, because I think you are, you know, a thorn in the rough to say that you don't just go with what is moving right now, and you stay true to the story that you want to tell. And I think there needs to be more people like that within the culture, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that. That really means a lot to me. That does.
Well, you got a place here on the DSP whenever you need it, man. And I'm excited to hear more new music coming from Mr. Wesley Black.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.